Hello everyone, welcome to this webinar where we will be providing some. For this webinar, we use the term small business to refer to any business which is owned privately either by sole proprietorship, partnership or by a company. As the aids available to small businesses have their own eligibility criteria, therefore we are not putting a cap on what can be a small business and what cannot. By the end of this webinar, hopefully we would have been successful in conveying information about the topics that are present on your screen at the moment. And hopefully the information we provide would help you in sustaining your business throughout this pandemic until normality resumes. Throughout the presentation, we have attached links which would help you gain further information about the topics we will cover. Information about the measures you can take as a small business owner in order to safeguard your. Starting with the Small Business Rate Relief Scheme. As you may know that business rates are charged by the government on properties which are used for non-domestic purposes. Moving on, if your business property is eligible for the Small Business Rate Relief, you will also become eligible for the Small Business Grant Fund. But unlike the Small Business Rate Relief, your council will contact you regarding this. So to ensure you get this grant, the first thing you have to do is check whether you meet the conditions for the Small Business Rate Relief. If you do, contact your council and apply for that relief. And if you are successful, the council will contact you regarding the Small Business Grant Fund, and a grant of £10,000 could be given. The payment, if the council makes it, will come to the person who in their records has been the ratepayer in the past, or at least till the 11th of March 2020. In case your business is not eligible for the Small Business Grant Fund, you can apply for the Retail, Hospitality and Leisure Grant. To be eligible for this grant, your business must fall within the retail or hospitality or leisure industry. And if you follow the link present on the screen, you will find a long list of types of businesses which as per the government would be eligible under this scheme. So if your business type is present on that list, you will become eligible for this grant. If the rateable value of your business property is more than £15,000 but less than £51,000, then you can receive a grant of £25,000. And in case the rateable value of a property is less than £15,000, you can receive a grant of £10,000. So if you wish to apply for this grant, contact your local council regarding this. It has relaxed the requirement for paying the business rate by introducing this scheme. Other than the Small Business Rate Relief and the Small Business Grant Fund, the government has started the Statutory Sick Pay Relief Package for small and medium-sized enterprises. If you have less than 250 employees, then you fall under the category for which the government has made this package. Now under this package, any employee of yours, be it a full-time employee, or a part-time employee, or an employee on an emergency contract, or an employee with a 0-hour contract, any employee that has been on your payroll scheme from either on or before 28th of February 2020 and has been off sick from work due to coronavirus, or been in isolation either from or after 13th of March 2020, and you have paid them the statutory sick pay, you can ask for the money that you have paid to that employee in the form of statutory sick pay back from the government. But the scheme only repays the first 14 days of the statutory sick pay that you have paid. So for instance, if the employee has been off sick for 20 days or 30 days, you will only get 14 days worth of the money back. That too at the standard rate. And this scheme is yet to go live. In order to be eligible for the Small Business Rate Relief Scheme, the property in which you run a business must be. Another thing that you can do as a small business owner, or in fact as an employer, regardless of the size of your business, is that you can apply for the Coronavirus Job Retention Scheme. Please make a note that this scheme is different from the Statutory Sick Pay Relief Package. Under this scheme, you can claim for 80% of wages up to a maximum of £2,500 for each of your furloughed employees. Here the term furloughed employees covers people who have been on your payroll either on or before 19th of March 2020 and have been furloughed for 3 weeks at least. Although the scheme is different from the Statutory Sick Pay Relief Package, but as an employer, you can apply for both the schemes. And you can apply for both the schemes for one employee as well, just not for the same period. For instance, if an employee of yours got sick due to coronavirus and you applied for the statutory sick pay relief, once you have got it, then the time period of 14 days for which you received that, you cannot include those 14 days when applying for the wages of the same employee under this scheme. You can apply for this scheme online as it went live on 20th April 2020. Of rateable value of £15,000 or less. The threshold of £15,000. Moving on, this scheme has also been introduced to help small and medium-sized businesses. Under this scheme, the government will provide your loan lender with a guarantee of covering 80% of your loan, up to the amount of £5 million. And the government will also make a business interruption payment to cover the first 12 months of interest payments and any lender-levied fees. This means that you will not have to pay any upfront costs and lower initial repayments. In order to be eligible for the scheme, your business must be based in the UK. Its annual turnover must not be more than £45 million. You must have a borrowing proposal based on your business, which the lender would have considered viable had the coronavirus pandemic not occurred. And lastly, you will have to self-certify that your business has been adversely impacted by coronavirus. If these 4 conditions, which are also present on your screen, are satisfied, you can apply for the scheme. And you can apply for this scheme online by following the link that is present on the screen at the moment. £1,000 has been further divided into 2 categories. The first category.
The Coronavirus Bounce Back Scheme is different from the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme, although this too helps small and medium-sized businesses, but they are 2 separate schemes and you can only apply for one of them. Under this scheme, you can borrow between £2,000 to £50,000 and the government will guarantee 100% of your loan and you will not pay any fee or interest for the first 12 months either. Loan terms will be up to 6 years and you will not have to pay anything for the first 12 months. At the moment, the government is working with accredited lenders so that you can avail this scheme and so that low interest rates will have to be endured once the first 12 months have passed. The scheme will be launched on the 4th of May 2020 and once the government decides how you can apply for it, more information will be posted on that link. So if you think your business will be eligible for it, the eligibility criteria is on your screen right now. Then keep checking the website, but please note that you can only apply for either this scheme or the Coronavirus Interruption Loan Scheme. Just to clarify, the third eligibility requirement, which is that the business must not be undertaken in difficulty, means that the business must not be insolvent, that is unable to pay its debt. So as long as on your balance sheet the assets in value are more than total liabilities, you are not undertaking in difficulty. In case your business was insolvent on the 31st of December 2019, that is, you had more liabilities than assets, then unfortunately you would not be able to apply for this scheme.
Category involves properties whose rateable value is £12,000 or less.
The Self-Employed Income Support Scheme is open to those who have an annual profit of less than £50,000 and receive at least half of their income from self-employment. This scheme allows you to claim a grant worth 80% of your trading profits, up to a maximum of £2,500 a month, and is available for 3 months. But the government have said they have accepted to extend this. This is subject to the income tax and national insurance contributions, but does not need to be repaid. You can claim for universal credit when waiting for the grant. Record the grant as part of your self-employment income, and it may affect the amount of universal credit you get. If you receive the grant, you can continue your work or start other employment. Those who are self-employed individuals or are a member of a partnership in the UK must have submitted your self-assessment tax return for 2018 to 2019, traded in the tax year 2019 to 2020, are trading when you apply or would have been for coronavirus, intend to continue to trade in the tax year 2020 to 2021, or have lost trading profits due to coronavirus. You cannot claim yet, but HMRC will contact you by mid-May if you're eligible and invite you to claim using the gov.uk online service.
If your business property falls under this category, then you don't have to pay any business rate.
As a small business owner, another thing you can do is call the number in the yellow box. Here, you can delay your VAT payments, which were due for the 30th of June 2020, and you can delay this until the 31st of March 2021. If you are self-employed, then the self-assessment payments on account, which were due in July 2020 this year, can be delayed until the 31st of January 2021. However, please note that you can delay the mentioned payments only if your business has suffered due to the coronavirus pandemic. If you call this number, you can get more details about this and set a date for when you will be able to pay the due amount.
Until the government declares otherwise. The second category involves properties.
Lastly, as an employer, if your business is still running in this pandemic, kindly ensure that you have installed measures for practicing social distancing at your property. This could be done by marking the floor with tape, showcasing 2 meters of distance within your property, or by installing any such measures that would ensure that people who come and visit your property would be able to maintain distance from each other. Make sure that your employees have a place for washing their hands and they have access to hand wash liquids or sanitizers, and that they wash their hands at regular intervals for 20 seconds. You can also, as a gesture of good practice, provide your employees with tissues, gloves and masks, and keep an eye on if any of them are showing signs of the coronavirus.
Whose rateable value is between £12,001 and £15,000.
Before we end this webinar, please make a note or take a picture or screenshot this particular slide, as everything we have covered in today's webinar, its updated information can be found on the www.gov.uk website. If you search for the given title separately, you will find more information. We hope this was helpful and thank you for watching this webinar and for your time.
Now, if your property belongs in this category, you will still have to continue paying the business rate. However, depending on which end of the scale you're on, you will have to pay a different amount. For instance, if the rateable value of your property is £13,500, you will get 50% off your bill. But if the rateable value is £14,000, you will get 33% off the bill. In case you own more than one business property, 2 conditions must be met for your properties to be eligible under the scheme. Firstly, the rateable value of the second property that you own must be less than £2,899. And secondly, the overall value, the total sum of the rateable values of your main business property and your secondary business property must be less than £20,000 or £28,000 if they are situated in London. If both these conditions are met, then you will still be eligible for the scheme. In case you do not meet these conditions, or in general the one business property you have has a rateable value of more than £15,000, your business rate will be calculated as per the small business multiplier. So you will have to pay the business rate, but at the rate of a small business. However, that's applicable only as long as the rateable value of a property is less than £51,000. However, please take a note that you will have to contact your local council for this relief, as it is not automatic. So if you think your business property or properties meet the criteria, then get in contact with your local council and apply for this relief. Your business in this pandemic. My name is Sartaz Billing and I am joined by Abida Ahmed. We are both law students from the University of Hertfordshire, and this webinar is a part of the Streetlaw initiative which the University of Hertfordshire's Pro Bono Centre runs, through which we try to raise awareness in the public regarding basic legal issues.